Welcome back, DC fans. Today I'm going to cover my top 5 Heroclix of 2012. Starting at number 5, we have Enchantress. You can play her at 2 different point costs, 250 or 50 points. And this one is going to be at 50 points. I think she's pretty good at 250, but to make my top 5, I think she needs to be at her 50 point cost just for a support figure with her TK and probability. She's got 8 range, 2 targets, phase in TK, she's grounded so that means she can be carried. She's got super senses, probability, and the stats are 8, 10, 17, and 3. I think this figure is better than Scarlet Witch at her 50 points, but the Scarlet Witch at 75 points is better than this 50 point version of Enchantress. This is a great support piece, and she also has mystics just like the really good Scarlet Witch. Basically, you can TK a figure out there and then have them attack, and then you can prob their attack, make sure that attack sticks, and if you look at her stats, she's also somewhat of a decent attacker with her 10 attack, 8 range with 2 targets. So she can also be kind of a secondary attacker if you don't necessarily need to use her support powers. So I really like her at 50 points, and she's very useful. Coming in at number 4, we have Nightwing and Batgirl. This is 176 points, so it's a little pricey. It's got the Batman ally, team ability, 6 range, 1 target, and it's a duo figure. That's pretty good. Has improved movement, which ignores elevated terrain, hindering outdoor blocking, and characters. That's also really good. And the trait they have is when they use the duo attack, modify their attack by +1 and damage by +1 if they already have a token on them. So when they use the duo attack, then they get +1 to their attack. So they'll have an 11 attack for both of their duo attacks. On their first click, they don't have Perplex, but later on in their dial, they do have Perplex, so you can Perplex up more damage or attack. And then we have defense is combat reflexes and super senses. They also have a special for attack. At the end of their turn, they can use a free smoke cloud if they are on a different elevation than they started on. So if they're on grounded terrain at the beginning of the turn and they move up to elevated terrain, they can use free smoke cloud, or if they're on elevated terrain and they come down to grounded terrain, then they can use free smoke cloud for free. So that's really good. Later on in their dial, they have the duo attack. As you see here, they can use flurry 2 times, which would give them 4 attacks, which is pretty intense. Some of the good things about this, they have really good stats, and a lot of their powers have really good synergy. It's pushable. It does not have Indom, but they do have late dial willpower. And you remember that this is a duo figure, so you can use merge and split also to give you more options. It is kind of expensive, and the damage numbers are not necessarily overpowering for the points, but there is some Perplex in there, and some of those traits and special powers give you bonuses to your stats to kind of help you out there. So coming in at number 3, we have Wonder Woman from the Fast Forces New 52 set. Now this figure is 100 points, and it is incredible what this figure can do. It's got a really good starting click with 8 charge, 11 attack, 18 invulnerability with 3 damage. Other powers you can find: flurry, leap climb, blades, close combat expert. Reasons why she's so good is her trait. After being carried, she can be given a non-free action if she hasn't been given an action this turn. So you can carry her into position, and then after that, you can have her attack. You can either have her charge or just straight up attack from there. Later on in her dial, she has flurry, so if you carry her and drop her off next to someone, and then you can use the flurry on someone, which is incredible. On her last couple clicks, she has combat reflexes and toughness to help her survive at close combat, as she has no range, and she only has 1 click of move and attack. But she is pretty pushable. So coming in at number 2, we have Big Barda from the Batman set. All I can say is Boom Tube. Boom Tube is a game changer on this character. Once per game, give her a double power action to phase up to 12 squares and give her a close combat or range combat action as a free action. She is a flyer, so she can carry a friend with her. Example, the Wonder Woman figure. That would be incredible to boom tube up, carrying the Wonder Woman, so then Big Barda can attack, and then Wonder Woman can attack as well. That is a good way to really do a lot of damage, and it's a lot of fun. She's 148 points. She's got 4 range, 1 target, 10 charge, 11 super strength, 17 impervious, 4 damage with a special power that allows her to have Psychic Blast and Quake. To top it off, she has another trait where she gets +1 for every action token she has on her. So when she boom tubes, her 17 defense gets bumped up to a 19, and she has Indom, so you push her and she gets tokens. So you want her to have tokens on her because her defense gets better. So this figure is incredible. She really is a solid piece, but when you use the boom tube, she just goes through the roof. So if you're very successful with the boom tube, you're definitely doing a lot of good things with her. For some reason, if your boom tube fails, like you don't roll and hit the character you need to hit, then yes, it could be a really tough battle because she's good at close combat, but she's not necessarily the best figure. You know, and she's susceptible to outwit as well, unless you give her the Infinity Gauntlet, which you probably don't want to, just because it's a lot of points, and she already has Indom. You're kind of wasting a little bit of points just to give her the bonuses and the non-outwittable, and that makes her a 200 point figure, or close to a 200 point figure. I would stick with Utility Belt just for the bonuses, but yeah, this figure is really, really good. One of my personal favorites. At number 1, we have the Superman from the Justice League tab app. Now this figure is incredible. I would have never guessed that this would have been my number 1 figure, but I've played it a couple times, and it's just outstanding. It's just such a great representation of Superman, and it doesn't come across as really cheesy. You can play it at 250 or 150. I think I prefer the 250, but the 150 is not that bad at all. It is a flyer with Indom and a trait 7 range with 1 target. The one thing that you're going to notice, it doesn't have Outwit, which is fine. But if you're playing a 300 point team, you have enough room to put in an extra support piece. Not a huge support piece, but like a 50 point Scarlet Witch or a 50 point Enchantress to give you a couple little bit of a bonus there. Enchantress, you can get the TK and a prob. But if you want to go with the Scarlet Witch, you could go with the probability, barrier, and perplex, which either way is pretty good. It's a Justice League team ability and the Superman team ability, so it can see through stealth. His trait is super strength, but when you use an object, you do 1 less damage, but after the action resolves, you deal 1 unavoidable damage. So you technically get the same amount of damage out, but for certain situations, that 1 unavoidable damage at the end can be really, really effective. Because I think all you need to do is attack and hit, but if they roll like an impervious, that 1 unavoidable damage at the end will stick. So that's really, really cool. Obviously, with super senses, they roll super senses before, so the attack does not hit, so the unavoidable damage at the end doesn't stick, as far as I know, because super senses avoids the actual hit, impervious avoids the damage. 12 running shot, 10 attack, 19 impervious, 5 damage, and the 10 attack also has super strength as well. That's a really, really good starting click. Obviously, it's not hypersonic, but if you look at it, that 19 defense is probably what's going to save you. That is going to be really, really difficult to hit. Also, it's impervious with Indom, so you can really get a little bit ballsy with this character if you really are testy. If they have Outwit, you're going to probably want to be a little bit leery, but if they do not have Outwit or a way to get through damage reducers like Psychic Blast or Exploit Weakness, you're going to feel pretty good about this figure, let me tell you. I think it's probably one of the best figures for all the stats and powers combinations, synergy on this dial. It doesn't look overpowering, but when you add it all together, it really gives you a great package. You're going to find Hypersonic, Charge, Flurry, Indom, like I said, Exploit Weakness, and Regeneration on this dial, along with the Run and Shot and Impervious. I'm not even a huge Superman fan, but I have to give this figure its credit. It is just outstanding. Some of the downsides, like I said, it is kind of expensive, so you're not going to be able to put a lot of extra figures on a team at 300 points. In larger games, you have a lot more options, and he gets even better. And he can be outwitted unless you give him, you know, Infinity Gauntlet. So I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for watching my top 10 videos and my top 5 videos. Please check out my Facebook, subscribe, rate this video, give it a thumbs up. Tell me what you guys think about this. Tell me what your top 5 or top 10 figures of this year were. Also check out my new Heroclix forum. We're actually starting up a Heroclix online tournament. So if you're interested in joining that, we still have some room to fill up some teams in there. And it's about 300 points, any figure goes. So definitely check it out. It's a lot of fun. I'll put a link in the description to the forum, and all you need to do is just sign up and submit that you're gonna want to play in that tournament, and it'll just be for fun, so don't worry too much about it. And even if you only have a couple figures, it doesn't really matter. All you need is just a couple figures to join and, you know, have some fun. Alright guys, take it easy.
P.S. Don't play me like a 3DS. These cats can't see us. They're checking the wrong ears. Cavaliers don't mistake kindness for weakness. They never wanted to hear us blow speakers.